Ah, the signs of spring in Spokane. The flowers are blooming. I mean, these ones are fake, but you can imagine. The 12-foot tall yard skeletons are in their Easter costumes. And the birds are... Oh! Oh, what? Why? Why is this bird repeatedly ramming itself into this window? That's the question a couple neighbors in this Colbert neighborhood had after being tormented for hours at a time by this bird, morning and night. Not just this year, last year as well, bashing into their front window. It's a question those neighbors who didn't want to go on camera, perhaps out of fear of retaliation from the bird community, put to me, so I got to work. After seeing the videos, I wasn't sure whether to call a wildlife expert or an exorcist.
No, it's not uncommon.
With no contact information for any local exorcists, I opted for the wildlife expert.
A lot of the times with wildlife, there's a perfectly reasonable explanation to why they're doing it.
Reagan Harris from the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife,
What does this bird want?
who had, as promised,
If a male bird sees its reflection in the glass, it may think that it is a rival bird rather than its own reflection.
a perfectly reasonable explanation.
And it's not smart enough to say, wait a minute, that looks just like me.
Nope, unfortunately they don't have that capacity, so they'll do it repeatedly.
It turns out,
This time of year it is very much that they've got one thing on their mind.
the violent bashing is all part of the longing for love.
So it's just mating season.
It's mating season. Its goal right now is to find a mate and lay some eggs with that mate.
And while the most damage you might find for something like a sparrow or a robin or some marks on the window or white territorial markings on the rocks below, for a bigger bird,
The only times we've had that happen is with wild turkeys.
Harris says they can actually break through the window. Like this guy from last year, and, well, actually.
We had one happen yesterday as well.
But as Spokane springs to life, if you find yourself caught in the crossfire of a randy robin unknowingly battling itself for sensual superiority to minimize potential harm to your window and the bird,
Long term, one of the best things you can do is just finding a way to break up that reflection so that they're no longer seeing themselves.
and at the very least, maybe even put up a sign. In North Spokane, Corey Howard.
It's not like a self-loathing thing where they look in the mirror and say, I hate you.
Nonstop Local, KHQ.